Hiya, I'm Kerry from Mobilites, and we're about to start 30 minutes of really gentle activity. Get your body moving. It's especially important at the moment because it is quite chilly. We're still in winter and it's cold, it's wet, and we tend to have a lot of tension in our bodies when it's cold. You know, we feel the tension just from the chilliness. We can't have the heating on all the time. So moving around in a gentle way, keeping everything going, getting your body warm. I find that my hands and feet, they're the bits that always feel cold. So I'm just going to give my hands a little warm up and a rub. And then I'd ask you to give your feet a little warm up and a rub. And we're going to do this class in different positions. We're going to be standing or sitting. You could be sitting on a chair, a sturdy dining chair is good, or the edge of your bed. And then we're going to take it down to lying down, but you can also stay sitting, and I've got alternatives that will work all the way through. One thing you are going to need is a cushion. So I've got some cushions behind me. I'm going to take one of those. But if you could have a cushion to hand for all the positions, whether you're sitting or standing, for lying down, all of those things. Right, let's start with those warmed up hands. Can you put one on your side ribs, sort of high waist area? It just doesn't matter whether it's like this or like this, just place it there. And I want you to breathe in through your nose and send the breath to your hand. So when you feel a bit of expansion, it's pushing against your hand. And as you breathe out, you can see my hand coming back in. I'm going to do that side again. And then take it down, have a little shake around, little wriggle. Other side, hands against your ribs. Now breathe into that hand. See if you can just push it away. Might be a little, might be a lot. And we're trying to do all this breath in and out through our nose. But if you're really bunged up, you can use your mouth as well. It's a good backup. And then place both hands sides, so you're aiming your breath to both hands. And then just have a little wriggle, wriggle inside your top, wriggle inside your bottoms. That's it. And then we're going to grow tall standing, grow tall sitting. If you're sitting, you might feel very upright. So you're not leaning right back on your chair. You're not slumped forward. You've just got this vertical feeling in your body. Hands at the end of your knees. If you are standing, you can put your hands on your thighs. And then we're going to pull our belly back. It's a bit like it's been against something cold and you're like, oh, that was cold. You're going to retract your belly away from that cold surface. I'll show you from the side. I'm doing a little blow the breath out because it just helps exaggerate it a little bit. If I show you in a standing position, now there isn't much to see. I've got this quite baggy top on that sort of flares out, and the bit to watch is probably round the back and this line and the line of my top underneath all the layers today. You can just see a little movement in this green sweatshirt. And then give everything a little shake around again. Tap the back of your head. Just space your feet comfortably. Grow tall again and turn your head each way. Come to the center, and then we're going to do a roll one way and a roll the other. Now, how far you roll, whether you could go into a circle, I don't tend to, it just doesn't feel comfortable for me, but I know some people love it. So it's really going into what feels nice for your neck. But as I lean, I'm trying to push my chin away. I feel like I'm steering this with my chin. And then back to the center. And starting to give our shoulders a roll. Keep your arms close initially so you can feel your hands on the sides of your legs. If that's okay, just let them go. If it feels nicer with them really snug in, but your arms are long and heavy. That's it. And now slow it down and just enjoy the ride on that. You can breathe in as they come up and out as they go back. And one more. And then give those feet a wipe. Just warming them up again. Take them slightly wider than you'd normally stand, just to give you a comfortable base. If you're standing, your arms gently out. If you're sitting, your hands on your chest. Get that upright feeling, so you feel a little bit of tension here, but you're not sucking your belly back. It just feels like if you press it, it's not as soft as it could be. Right, now we're just going to rock forwards and backwards. You might find your toes start to lift up as you just go backwards. Now you want to do this so it feels safe. So if you need to hold on to something, if you're standing, you can do. If you're sitting, having your feet a bit wider will help. And it's just like you're either feel like you're rocking on a boat, or if you're sitting, you're in a rocking chair. Perfect. And then we're going to make it faster. Going to walk. We're going to make it a little faster just to keep ourselves nice and warm. So it's like you're going for a little walk. Now, if you could do something more with your arms, a little punch out, little punch to the side. Doesn't matter what it is. Oh, who's coming with me today? Christine, Jackie, Paul, Jean, Han. Oh, welcome to you all. I'm doing anything with my arms now. I'm just, anything goes. Just something with your arms, because it will get the blood pumping. It's a bit closer to your heart, and it just makes it just briefly a bit more aerobic. It's not really an aerobic class, this. It's just to get us a little bit warmer, and then just stand and just enjoy a little bit of warmth. Now keep your feet down, bottom down if you're seated. Elbows in. I'm just having a little wriggle for the shoulders there. Palms up, like you've got serving plates on them. Face forward. We're in dumbwaiter, one of my favourites. Offer a plate out to the side. Offer a plate out to the other side. I find it helps to really imagine, you know, little snacks here. What do you like as an hors d'oeuvre or a little appetizer? Imagine that's on your plate. Doesn't have to be savoury if you've got a sweet tooth. That's it. Now we're going to offer our snacks, hors d'oeuvres, petit fours, whatever they are, a little further. But keep your chest facing forwards. That's it. I'm going to try and offer out here without knocking anything over. That's okay. There's enough space between me and the plant. And now we're going to take them both out. And then we're going to turn our hands over. Bring them back up, in by your sides, out and over. I'm trying not to knock the plant over. It's a close thing. I'm sure you all have these issues when you're doing these classes from home. There's always something close by. That's it. And then bring your arms in and just have a little wiggle. Excuse me, I could feel that sneeze. Oh, that tickle just coming. Right, next, we're going to grab the cushion that I mentioned at the beginning. I'm going to get a really plump one. This is one of my favourites. It's got a nice sort of wintry seam and some cotton bark cloth. Right, I'd like you to place that on one side and put your foot on it. And then we're just going to shift our weight side to side. And it's the same if you're sitting. Foot on it and just have a little shift side to side. And then find your balance. And your balance is going to be slightly over onto the leg that's on the floor, and make the other leg light on the cushion, and then let it go heavy. Light on the cushion, let it go heavy. I think actually we'll have our weight in the center. So we're not leaning over like this. We're going to keep it right between both legs. We're going to lift this other leg. Now that time I took it right off the cushion. So you could take it off. You could just make your cushion a little lighter. It might even try and puff up. And if I'm doing this standing, as I'm on this cushion, this leg is a little bent already, the knee's a little bit bent. I'm just going to try and keep my weight as central as I can and lift that leg. Take it up. Maybe away from the cushion. Maybe it's just not pressed up right down into the cushion. You're just lightening things. Well done. Then you might need to give your hips a little wriggle, because it does strengthen the hips a little, that one. You can just feel it there because it's just working into these muscles at the side. Right, other side. Cushions down. We can have a little sway between the floor and the cushion. If your arms need to go outwards a little, like, go for it, you know, if it helps. Note the different sort of feelings that you're getting if you're getting sensations through your feet. This side is feeling not just raised, but quite sort of lumpy and uneven. This side feels really flat and it's sort of spongy. Then we're going to find the weight as centrally as we can as we try and lift this foot harder on this side, slightly off the cushion. Just trying to make it lighter so it's not pressing in. Might be you can lift that leg straight up and tap it down. It might be that it's got to stay lower down, just your heel is coming up. You're just not pressing it into the floor. That's it. And then take your foot down, move the cushion to one side out of the way of your feet, and just have a little wriggle. Give your hips a little smooth. And we're going to take it into some twisty, swirly turns. So your legs are wider. Now, if you're doing this seated, have your legs wider, and you might have your arms swish around the side. But you could also slide your arms, your hands even, up and down your thighs. If you've got osteoporosis and osteopenia, this option is best because it will give you a small amount of rotation without pushing things further. If you went straight into this option, it can cause more of a twist that might not be right for your back. So come back to the front and then take your legs wide. We're going to send our hips back a little and the arms just come gently forwards. You can interlink or just put your hands close to each other. If I show you from the side, I'm trying to keep my back flat and then I'm going to stand up. So my legs aren't really bending forwards. They're slightly soft. They're not like super straight like that. I've got a little bend in them. I'm just working on this hip hinge. Now if I'm doing this seated, legs wider, hands on my thighs. I'm not heavy in my hands because I'm using some of these abdominal muscles here, but I am going to push down into the floor. Now if you're feeling especially tired, you can be a little heavier in the hands and you can lean into your hands a little and use them to push you up. But otherwise, you can even hover your hands so they're not quite touching your thighs. And then they're there if you need them. If you sort of think, oh, no, I really need them now. We're going to stay leaning forwards. Take one arm forwards. Reach it over one way. Reach it over the other way. So you're going on these diagonals one more time, each side. And then come upright. I'm going to do the next one standing. So we send our bottoms back. We just leaned slightly over like this, holding it there. Reach the other arm forwards, diagonally over, back to the center, diagonally the other way. Oh, I can go right round. I might go right round the back. And then I'm going to reach diagonally over and right round. And then bring it back and come upwards. Fantastic. Right, shall we make our way down to the floor? So you might, if you have anything to do with your spine, that means you don't like bending forwards like that. You could do the same as we've just done. Hold it there and then tilt downwards, like a pelvic tilt, and walk your hands upwards. Or we could do more of a roll down. So for this, open your chest up. Soften your knees a little bit and then just have a little bow, and I let my hands just fall in front of my legs. And if we stop around the knees, quite high, you can probably go further,
or possibly go further. You may just be, this may already be a long way, but just hold it there and breathe into your back, into your shoulder blades. Feel them rise up, and then as you breathe out, we're going to stack everything back up and have a little wriggle at the top. We'll do one more. Hold it wherever you are. I'm sort of at a midpoint here. You can give your head just the softest touch of the hair. You might feel that your head can just drop down a little more. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, we're going to roll our way up. Could you squeeze your fists at the same time? Just give a little release and squeeze and release and squeeze just to get a bit of circulation going. Well done. I'm going to take it down. So if you are happy getting down to the floor or perhaps going on a mattress on the bed, pull the duvet back, take yourself there. But if you'd rather stay in your chair, stay in your chair, and I shall keep giving different directions. You're going to need that cushion again, and maybe another one for your head. I have a little one for my head, but I'm going to get this one ready. Just take all my things down to the floor and grab a quick drink. Even though it's cold, you still need these fluids going in. Although I think most of my fluids involve tea at the moment because it's warm. Decaf tea. What sort of beverages are you on at the moment? Anyone want to share what they really like, or if they can recommend a particular herbal tea that's really nice, or a particular other sort of hot drink that they find really lovely? Always good to share. Right. So if you're coming down to the floor, please take your time. And we always have a little moment just to adjust. So I like a little roll, particularly for my low back. That's the bit that really needs it. I like my legs quite wide and this knee sway. If you're sitting in a chair, you can sit right back. Could you place the big cushion, if you're in the chair, behind your back? Just so you've got a little bit of feedback there. And then come to a stillness. So you're sat in the chair with your feet on the floor, or you're lying down with your feet on the floor. We're all in the same position. This would be the back of my chair if I was seated on the ground. We're against our mat or whatever's beneath us. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, we're going to rock the pubic bone towards our nose. So you might feel your back dropping down, even pressing against anything that's beneath you or at the back of you, if you're in a chair. And breathe in and let it rock forwards. Breathe out, rock back. Breathe in, rock forwards. That's it. One more. And then if you're lying down, could you now place the big cushion beneath your bottom? Just so it feels like your bottom is very slightly lifted up. And if you're seated, could you also put that big cushion underneath your bottom? If you don't like it, you can leave it, and that goes for all the positions, of course. But give it a try just to see if it's like lifted up, slightly different position. Now we're going to take a breath in. Hands on the belly is good because you don't want your belly to be moving side to side like this. You want it to be really still. There's going to be a little bit of tension there, just a bit. Muscles slightly activated. We're going to float a leg. Now it's going to go up to a tabletop position if you're lying down. If you're seated, it's just going to be a little heel raise, a bit like this foot here, like that. And then float it down. Super light. The other one's going to come up and then down. I'm keeping my feet right silent. That's it. So if you're seated, it's going to look, put myself on a squishy cushion, just elevates you slightly. And this is how it looks seated. Now I'm just taking my toes off the floor and giving my long feet, but you could also do it with your toes down and come onto the ball of your foot and your toes or the tip of your toes. But you need to sit really upright, get a little bit of length in, and you'll feel this area is working hard. Your hip flexors that lift your legs up, also working hard. That's it. And let's have the last ones. And then let your feet just rest and let your legs have a little sway. That's it. Right. Next, we're going to bring a knee into our chest and hug the back of your thigh. Now you can have this leg parallel here, the shin, or you can let it flop. Just hug it in. It's a little bit of a curved tuck under bum here because we've got the cushion underneath. And then take it down. And then the other one in. Now if you're seated, you might be able to bring your knee up towards you sitting. Or you might find that you're just going to come down to your legs. So instead of lifting the leg up like this, which if you can do it, please do it. And if you can't, just come down, give your legs a little hug, and then come up. So come straight down, hug one leg and the other leg at the same time. And the next thing I'd like to do if you are sitting is could you extend one leg away and then extend the other leg away. Extend one leg away and the other leg away, and then come in for a couple of hugs and keep going with that pattern. If you're lying down, we're going to do something similar. So we're going to bring one leg in and extend the other leg away. And now if it wants to go this far, that's as far as it goes. If it goes full length, enjoy the length and the stretch. And then slide it back, bring that one in, and then the other one is going to swap over. That's it. Now, if you're familiar with this one, you might want to do it so that your legs hover, as long as it doesn't feel uncomfortable for your back. That's it. And let's have a last one. And then we're going to take this cushion out from underneath and we're going to place it, I'm just going to plump it up between our feet. And this is the same if you're sitting. So I want it between your feet where you can give it a little squeeze. Take your arms out to the side or put them on the sides of the chair. And now let your knees come out and then come in and give the cushion a squeeze with your ankles and your sort of inner leg. That's it. And as you do this, there's no change here. This area is all staying still. Just the legs opening and closing. That's it. And the next place we're going to go is onto our sides. Now, if you're seated, I want you to take the cushion and bring it up between your knees like that. So you're sitting with your feet on the ground and the cushion between your knees. If you're lying, I'd like it between your feet. And we're going to take our legs long if we're lying down and feet on the floor if you are seated. So we've got long legs. We're going to try and flatten our feet. So they're not pointed away like that. They're flat. And if you're sitting, yours will be flat because they'll be on the floor. And you'll need an arm to steady yourself because it's going to be quite rolly. You're going to feel like you're right on your side. Right, we're nice and long here. We've got that little squeeze going. Feel what it's like just to let your legs relax and soften. That's mine relaxed. And then put a bit of tension in. So they're just squeezing very lightly and relax and soften. And a little bit of tension. Let's keep that tension there. So that just means long, active legs. If you're sitting, it means your legs, you feel your thighs tighten, but they're in that L shape. Now can you use your underneath leg, if you're lying down, to press into the cushion. It's like you're trying to lift this leg on the floor into the cushion. And if you're seated, could you squeeze your right inner knee into the cushion and let go? See my legs relax, lengthen again. Now press your left leg into the cushion. That's your top leg into the cushion, or your left knee into the cushion and let go. And now we're going to squeeze both legs inwards, whether you're sitting or lying down. Give both a squeeze. Keep squeezing. Keep breathing. And then just let go. You might want to let your legs bend. Give them a little rub. And then we're going to roll onto our backs again and do that same butterfly opening with the cushion between our feet. So if you're sitting, let the cushion drop to the floor. It's between our ankles, and we just take our legs out and in. You might take your arms out or rest your hands on your belly. That's it. And then we're going to roll to the other side. So you'd be rolling maybe the opposite way. I'm going to turn round. So this is how you'd be if you're lying on your mat or your bed. Long legs, the cushions between your ankles and your lower legs, and you're flattening your feet so they're not long, they're really flat. And you're going to feel that bottom leg try and squash into the cushion. So it's like sort of lifting up. It doesn't leave the floor very much, but you can feel it trying to push into the cushion. So keep going with that. I'm going to come to the seated position with the cushion between my knees. So we'll have this right leg, and it's just going to press inward and give a little inner thigh squeeze, and then release. Now can your top leg, if you're lying down, could you press that into the cushion? And it'd be your left leg if you're seated. So it's giving that cushion a little squeeze. Feel what happens in your belly and up your abdominals. And then release. And now we're going to do both legs. Squeezing inwards. And release. And then we'll do that same thing again. Let the cushion go to your feet if you're seated. Roll onto your back if you're lying down. Bring your feet nice and close into that cushion and let your legs go in and out. I like my hands on the outside of my legs if I'm seated. If I'm lying down, I like my arms just out on the floor. That's it. Lovely. And could you roll yourself onto your side if you're lying down? And then push yourself to a seated position. I'm going to see you in a seated position down on the floor. I might even sit on 2 cushions and have a real princess pile. There. So I would like you to be sat up so it feels like your spine is upright, it's not slumped. You could do this sat on your chair with your legs wide, or sat on the edge of your bed with your legs wide, your legs are bent and your feet are on the floor. And if you're on the ground, you can have your legs, I've got mine straight and outwards. You could have your feet like this and your knees bent. And we're going to do a little circle. So I call this stir the pot. Just a nice way to give your legs a little stretch out. We've bent our leg quite a bit, so it's quite nice when they're longer, if you can get them a little longer. I've even got, you can see my toes just in shot, got them pulling back towards me at the moment. That's it. And if you find you're imagining a small pot that you're stirring, all good. If you like a huge pot and you want to really reach your arms around and make it super big, you can go for that. And then pause and reverse. Oh, that was a brief pause. And sometimes I go big and then get smaller on this. That can be quite nice. And just making it less and less and less. And then bring yourself to an upright position. You can change your leg position. I'm going to move mine. I'm going to go into a cross-legged position. It's still upright in your spine. Now we're going to take an arm out and we're going to push a hand across the body towards that hand. And you see it's towards, mine's not going right over. And then we're going to open out and I'm going to push towards that hand. I'm just going to keep that pattern going. Last one this way. And then bring your arms down. You can take your hands slightly behind you. Now you're not leaning back. You can see I'm right up on my fingers. I'm just going to push away and the chest is coming towards you. That's where the energy is coming. It's like my chest wants to push forwards. So I can feel myself going forwards and up rather than a lean forwards. And then let it go down. We're going to do the same again. Maybe take a breath in.
As you breathe out, let it go down. And one more. And relax. Take your arms out to the side. Scoop up the air. Breathe in as your hands come together. Breathe out as they come into your chest. You're done. I'm hoping you're warmer. Everything feels a bit more well oiled. And I'm going to check out the recommendations if you've left any recommendations for me of lovely teas and hot drinks. I'm on a decaf Yorkshire tea. That's my sort of go-to afternoon tea. So I'm going to see what you're recommending. I'll see you next week. Have a good week. Bye-bye.